Today is Wednesday, Parashat Devarim. Parashat of this week, Parashat Devarim, is always read on the Shabbat that precedes Tisha B'Av, the day of the fast. We fast over the destruction of the first and second temple, the Galut going into exile, and also on that date of Tisha B'Av throughout history, it was a date that is notorious for calamities that happened for the Jewish people. And the Parashat of Devarim, Moshe Rabbeinu reminds us of the day that the Meraglim, the spies, came back and gave a negative report. And the Jewish people cried. They cried in vain, and they were told, you cried in vain because after all the land is a beautiful land and you'll be able to settle in it. Since you cried in vain, and that date was the 9th of Av, that they will cry for real over some catastrophes and calamities that happen on that same date in the calendar. So that's a reason that is given by our Hachamim why Parashat Devarim is always read before the day of Tisha B'Av. At the beginning of the parasha, actually, Moshe Rabbeinu rebukes the Jewish people for several places on their way to Eretz Israel where they acted improperly, where they complained improperly, where they acted wrongly with the daughters of Minyan and with worshipping the Baal Peor, when there was 24,000 people, that he reminds them of all these places by hint, because he mentions the first pasuk says Be'ever HaYarden, Ba'midbar, Ba'arava, Motsur, Ben Paran, Ben Tofel, Ve'Laban, Ba'chatzerot, Ve'di Zahav, and what seems to be as geographical locations. Rashi tells us that actually there are ways to hint of what happens in these places, not to embarrass them. So careful we have to be when we want to rebuke someone or to reproach him something, or to actually, even we do it with a good intention because we want him to do right. We see somebody acting improperly and we want him to improve his ways. How we do that is very important. Pasuk says, "Ochiach tochiach et amitecha velo tisa alav het." You have a mitzvah to reproach one who does wrong, but you have to do it in a way that it will not be done in an embarrassing way. Lo tisa alav het, you will not have a sin because of that. Can be explained two ways. If you can have influence on him and you don't use your influence, that could be a sin. But the other way also, if as you correct him and you reproach him, you do it in an embarrassing way. Maybe you do it in public. Even if it's not in public, maybe you do it in a way that is embarrassing. That could be also a way to be acting in a sinful manner when actually you have good intentions to improve his ways. So Moshe Rabbeinu here mentions names of places as hints of certain times where they acted improperly. And he, before Moshe Rabbeinu passes away, he spoke to them, giving them musar and teaching them the right way, but he does it with so much love and so much care for them, or even as he's rebuking them, he's doing it just by way of hint in order not to embarrass them. And one of the places here is Ve'di Zahav. Di Zahav, okay, so a place called Di Zahav, but actually Rashi says, Ochichan ala egel she'asu bishvil rov hazahav she'haya lahem. And he rebukes them on the golden calf that they made because of all the gold that they had. In other words, they had so much gold that they used it to make the golden calf. And here also we see that a person can be put to test in one of two ways. Either in poverty, he might come to steal or to cheat because he needs his basic needs to survive. Or a person can be put to test out of great wealth. Like the Pasuk says, Vayishman Yeshurun Vayivat. The more a person is wealthy, the more he might have a tendency to take credit for all what he has been able to accomplish, forgetting that he was Hashem, we enabled him to do that. But also there's another aspect. When a person has great wealth, he might come to become arrogant and maybe to even rebel. And these ahav, the golden calf that was made, as by the way of hint, Rashi tells us, because of all the gold that they had, makes the person sometimes haughty and conceited, and may come to a point where he might deny Chas v'Shalom Hashem. So the test can be in either way, either in poverty or in great wealth. And the message here is to be very careful with kvod abiriot, with the honor of people, even when somebody does something wrong, how you communicate with him and how you get him to correct his ways has to be done in a respectful manner and in a way that is done not to embarrass him. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.